So I'm with Umar.
Yes. I was born around more than 80 kilometers from Kampala, and now I live in Entebbe. Entebbe, exactly at the place the Israelis rescued the hostages in 1976. So it's very interesting for me because I love Israel. And whenever I stay there, I remember Israel and I pray for the Jewish people. In Kampala, life when I was growing up was different from today. Because the life today is more influenced by the media, especially the social media. There is a positive side and a negative side on that. But during those days, life was closed to culture, centered on families, because whatever we could discuss, we discuss it as a family, and we get information from the elders. We could cling on our televisions at the evening to get the news. But today, people pick news from everywhere on their cell phones. So there was a change. It was totally different from today. 2024, I began coming to Israel in 2008. But before coming to Israel, I used to watch international media. And all they were saying is that the Israelis are battering Arabs. When you go to Israel and you are an Arab, they can kill you. But where I'm seated now, this is old Jerusalem. When you go down there in the street, most of the people are Arabs, and they are selling their products. Yesterday I was greeting one by one. They speak Arabic with me, even here where we are seated. The Arabs in this coffee shop. Those are lies, lies against Israel. But because they are speaking them many, many times, people in Africa and some parts of Europe, they pick it as if it's true, yet it's lie. Yeah.
Sitting here now,
Yes.
did you ever think as a child you would be here?
No, I didn't, because when I was growing up, I did not have love for Israel. I grew up in a community which was purely Islamic community. And then among the things that I was told was that the Israelis are not good people. So I grew up, there is even a verse in a chapter, which is chapter 5 of the Quran, verse 51, that tells that believers should not make friendship with the Jews and Christians. So I used to have Israelis in a different picture, and I could not imagine myself being in Israel. But when I became a Christian, I began reading the Bible, and then I picked interest in Israel because I was finding verses in the Bible talking good things about Israel. But still I was getting confused with the international media, the way they were portraying Israel with putting Israel in a bad picture. Until I said, why can't we go to Israel? So I have an influence among my people. I gathered some leaders, church leaders in my country, and I said, why can't we go to Israel and find by ourselves how things are? So we came through Egypt. We went up to Cairo, and then we stayed 10 days in Cairo and traveled in those places. As we know in the Bible, they talk about Moses and the Jews where they stayed. All those places, we went there. We wanted to explore how the Jews stayed in bondage in Egypt. So we went all to those places to go Mount Sinai and all other areas. And we had our vehicles hired from Cairo. We drove up to the border of Taba. That's the border of Egypt and Israel. So I had hired another company in Israel that could get us, go to many sites that we wanted. Wow. We were targeting Bible sites. The goal was to discover by ourselves whether what the international media is saying is true about Israel. But it was a surprise. When we reached at the border in Taba, on Taba border, this is the border, we are leaving Egypt. I had hired a company of the man, the owner of the company is Jewish. So I sent my money to a Jewish man to give me service, to get me, to book my hotels for my group, and then get me travel all over in all the places in Israel. This is a Jewish man, and I know very well I am giving my money to a Jewish man. Now what happened, the first surprise to us, a very nice vehicle came and waited for us at the border of Taba. So my guide was a Jewish man. And I met him, and he's Jewish. And then we entered the vehicle. Guess what? The driver was Arab. And then
like,
all the people in the group, they said, what is happening? Is he Jewish? I said, he's an Arab. So this is a Jewish man working with an Arab in the same vehicle.
Yeah.
Yet for us, we came with that mentality, that propaganda, which the news is saying that whenever an Arab is seen in Israel is killed. Practically, that was my first Jewish person to work with. I reached in the hotel where we stayed, and the manager was an Arab, and the others who were serving us were Arabs, and this is the Jewish man who brought us here, and it's the Jewish man who booked the hotel of the Arabs. Then I saw that in Israel, Arabs and Jewish people are working together on the same street. But unfortunately, the world is being fed on negative propaganda against Israel, which are purely lies. So that changed my mind. Up to today, I come to Israel, I have Jewish friends, I have Arab friends.
Yeah.
So I came to Israel because I had to change my mind about Israel, and because of my new faith. And I began, when I left Israel then, that was 2008, I went back and began preaching and telling the people the truth and teaching many other people about Israel and trying to speak the truth about this Jewish nation and telling people that the Israelis are not what the media is portraying them to be. They are actually good people and they have value for human life. Every year I bring teams from Africa to Israel, every year.
Whoa.
So I come to Israel almost every year. In 2011, because of what I do and my activities, I was coming from preaching somewhere, and there's people who are extremists. They attacked me on the way, and they poured acid on my face. And they chanted the way terrorists chant. They chanted Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they poured acid on my face. Basically because I converted from Islam and because I promoted the love of Israel among communities. But what happened is that they took me to India for treatment. My people in Uganda, they took me to the best hospitals Uganda can afford to have, and then the situation was worse.
Really?
And then I was taken to India. And then from India, I was taken to Israel because I almost died.
Wow.
As they had damaged severely my life. And then that's how now I'm being treated in Sheba, Terashomer in Tel Aviv.
Right.
Yeah.
Were that situation, that experience you're in, was that surprising?
Yeah, it was surprising because it happened to me, but in some way I was expecting it because we live in a world where danger is close to us. Anything can happen. Whether you try to be so good, some bad guys can, attack you either as a target or mistaken identity or anything. Somebody can do harm on you either as a target, he has targeted you, or you by mistaken identity. So, but this time they had targeted me, but I succeeded to get healed, treated by the Israeli doctors, and now I come for review, but my life, came back. I came back to life, and I'm doing my work.
From that experience, how are you changed?
From that experience, one, I learned perseverance, because pain is pain, but the attack of acid is so horrific, so dangerous. Acid burns more than fire.
Really?
It's a liquid, but it's very burning liquid when it touches on the skin. In Africa, where I was born, there are gold mines. People dig gold from the ground. But because Africa lacks a lot of technology, they use acid to test gold. So that means that if you get anything that you claim to be gold and put it in acid, if it's not gold, it's just a metal, it will dissolve. So acid dissolves metals. It's only gold that can remain. Yeah, just imagine if it dissolves metals, what can happen if it's put on a human skin? So it completely, besides facial deformity, being deformed, it can even destroy the bones. It can melt the bones. So it's a great success to the doctors to see that I sit here and like the way I am.
Miracle.
Because they made a lot of surgeries on me, and if I had not got some good medical care, I could have been dead by now. That's the story. That's what I am.
So
those perseverance is key in life, because when you endure, when you persevere, even hardship can go away and you live your life.
what makes you happy? What brings you joy in life?
What brings me joy is to do what is right. Whenever I do something right, I feel good. That's the joy, because I know that in life we are on a mission. God brought us here to fulfill some assignments. And some people do wrong things and they have joy in doing wrong. But I feel joy in doing right.
Simple.
Simple life.
If you were to tell your younger self something about life, what would that be that you learned?
Yeah, life is all about right and wrong. When you see something, always look for the right side of it. Because if you do it wrongly, you'll have repercussions. It will have severe consequences. In the days where we live right now, there is a loss of a concept of right and wrong. But that concept, when it loses, the society will be destroyed. Because the truth is, what we cannot fight is nature. We have to know how to relate with nature, but you cannot fight nature. That's why you hear some global warming and other things, because people are not aware of how to relate and work with nature. They try to confront nature, and then when you confront nature, nature will bring the repercussions on you, and then you begin to claim global warming. So there are things that are in this world, and they are very clear in bringing the results. One, the moment you do something wrong, you're going to have severe consequences. The moment you do what is right, you're going to enjoy the joy of doing what is right. So we have always to look at that in life, and you do what is right at the right time, and you avoid what is wrong or what is bad.
Sometimes you don't see the positive outcomes.
Life is a long time journey. I do farming in Africa. I have my farm of around 20 hectares, and then I have put there 13,000 trees, and those trees I will sell them in 6 years. There are some people who are making papers, making wood. They will come after 6 years and buy my trees. Now I don't see the money, but I have put in a lot of money. I don't get, but I put. But after 6 years, if you visit me, I will have a very huge check because I have harvested my trees. So that is how life is. The things we do, good things of today, we might harvest them tomorrow or after 10 years or after 15 years. That's why I said endurance and perseverance are very good factors in life, because I do a good thing today, waiting for, like a farmer, to harvest in future.
What's the percentage of Muslims, Christians, or other religions in Uganda?
Yeah, in Uganda, the big percentage of people in Uganda are Christians. The Christians are 80%, and the Muslims are between 13 to 14%. Uganda is a very interesting country. Actually, it's one of the most receptive or accommodating country today. Yeah, one of the most, because in the whole world, Uganda is a poor country in third world Africa, but it has many refugees than any country on earth. Really? We have millions of refugees in our country than any other country on earth. We are leading. Why? Because we have more than 52 different dialects. Wow. But we live together. So there is that kind of coexistence in Uganda. It's within us that if somebody sees you in Uganda, we don't see your color, we don't see where you're coming from. We'll just see a person and then they receive. And people from other countries are received. But basically, according to the statistics, the country has 45 million people. And we have more than 52 different dialects, different tribes, but English is spoken as a national language, and to combine all of us, to unite us.
How many languages do you speak, or dialects?
13.